Respiratory viral illnesses continue to present a constant challenge to our healthcare system, with the CDC estimating that over 9 million individuals contracted influenza in 2022, of which 10,000 were hospitalized, and half of those cases resulted in death. Also, while SARS-CoV-2 infections remained prevalent last year, we all saw a significant spike in RSV, with roughly 42 hospitalizations occurring per 100,000 individuals, which is quite a jump from the previous high rate of 14 per 100,000. So in an effort to provide the most up-to-date information regarding respiratory viral illnesses and specifically recommended diagnostic approaches, the Pan American Society for Clinical Virology, or PASCV, is hosting a webinar on this topic this Friday, January 27th from noon to 1 Eastern. And to give us a sense of what will be discussed during the webinar, for today's PASCV brief, Dr. David Gaston from Vanderbilt University Medical Center is joining us. Dr. Gaston is a member of the PASCV Education Committee and will be moderating the webinar. So hi, David. Thank you for hopping on today.
Thank you, Dr. Theel. Happy to be here and very excited to serve as the moderator for this upcoming webinar.
I'm sure it will be informative, but cutting to the chase, what exactly will the webinar cover? And what do you and the other members of the Education Committee hope that viewers will walk away with after watching it?
Certainly. The title of the webinar is Influenza and Respiratory Virus Trends and Vaccine Coverage, which, as you mentioned, is a PASCV supported webinar. The intended audience here are clinical microbiologists, those who are working in the clinical microbiology laboratory, technologists who are doing the critical day-to-day testing to help patients who are ill, CPEP fellows, graduate students, medical students, really anyone who has an interest in this topic. There will certainly be something for all. The primary objectives are fourfold. The first is to discuss the current status of the 2022 and 2023 influenza season, including the impact of the seasonal respiratory viruses that you mentioned. The second is to discuss current trends in vaccinology and vaccine coverage. The third is to discuss the critical value of the clinical microbiology laboratory, both in the diagnosis of influenza and influenza-related conditions and other respiratory tract infections, as well as epidemiologic tracking of these conditions. And finally, taking a future-facing focus towards the next anticipated influenza pandemic, which hopefully doesn't happen, but we all think most likely will based on history. Our two speakers are experts in this field. Dr. Stacy Schultz-Cherry, who is a vaccinologist and provider at the St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, and Dr. Marie Landry, who is a clinical microbiologist at Yale University and the Yale New Haven Hospital. During this webinar, there will be PACE credit provided, and we look forward to seeing you there and hope you can attend.
Awesome. Thanks, David, for that great summary. It sounds like a lot of material. It sounds like you guys have the perfect speakers to cover all of that material. And again, for the viewers, the webinar will be this Friday, January 27th from noon to 1 Eastern. Please use the link below to register. Thank you again, David, for joining us. And to the viewers, go out and register today. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.